Good morning. Almost afternoon. Let's see who's here on this lovely Tuesday. Good morning. Almost afternoon. Hi, Christina. Hi, Alyssa. Hi, Andrea. Hi, Collins. Hey, everybody. What's cracking? How's it going? How's your Tuesday treating you? What's up, everybody? Hi. Hi. Oh, Toronto. I bet you've got some crappy weather. So, I don't have a huge purpose for jumping on live. I just wanted to come in and say hi to you guys and kind of tell you what I've got going on for the week. I have had a lot of trouble keeping up with daily vlogs. Things have been crazy. I've been feeling a little, I don't want to say unmotivated and make it sound dramatic, but there are just some weeks where I can pump out multiple videos a day or at least every day, and then some weeks it's just not that easy. I really have a hard time, I guess, staying accountable when I am just making like boring food. So I kind of wanted to pick your brains a little bit and see, do you want to see days where we're just throwing something together? And what I mean by that is if I am just making a beautiful salad with some already cooked chicken, do you still want us to chit chat and come in and have hangs? Or are you like, damn, Amanda, I know how to make a salad? What do you think? Let me know. I don't know. I think because it becomes a little bit redundant. I think that everyone knows how to make scrambled eggs and bacon and knows how to throw a salad together. So sometimes I'm a little leery to put up stuff that to me just seems super boring. Yeah, I know. I love, my favorite vlogs are the vlogs when Dan and I are able to cook together. Those are my favorite. I really enjoy getting to spend time with him in the kitchen, and he really does, like, I don't know, he inspires me. He totally inspires me. I don't struggle for keto recipes, you guys. I really don't. I'm a really creative cook, so it's really easy for me to come up with new recipes on the fly based on the ingredients that I have. So honestly, I don't follow very many keto recipes. I have a couple of people that I really do love that I look at their blogs pretty regularly and it gives me inspiration, but it's very rare that I will search for a keto recipe. I'm just one of those cooks that kind of look at what I have and throw it together based on that. So this week we've been doing a lot of very easy. Oh, I've done cracked chicken. It's delicious. There's a lot of different ways to make it. Yeah, I have a tendency to kind of get in these, like, I don't know, food rut kind of, where I'm basically just eating, like, cooked chicken for days on end. Yeah, Jennifer, that's the main reason that I started the channel, because it occurred to me that not everyone does that not everyone can just throw some crap together and make a meal out of it. So that's kind of how this whole keto ginger thing came to be. If you're in here right now, will you give us a nice little thumbs up so we can get a few more people in here? Hi, Erin. Tonight, I'm doing my first podcast. I'm going to be on my friend Aaron's my friend Aaron. See, Aaron, I have you on the brain. My friend Kristen's podcast. It's called Mom's Spaghetti Podcast. She has a co-host named Emily, and I am going to be recording with them tonight. So it's going to be my very first podcast appearance. I'm a little nervous. I don't know why. I mean, podcasts are so cool. You're basically just having a conversation. So I'm pretty excited about it. We're going to talk about keto. We're going to talk about my weight loss journey. We're going to talk about a little bit of everything. And Kristen and Emily are both super, super funny. So I'm really looking forward to it. Basically, how that will go is we'll record it tonight and then Kristen will work on the editing for it. And I will let you guys know as soon as it's available for you to listen to. Mom Spaghetti Podcast is on all of the podcast platforms. So Spotify, the Apple Podcasts, you can find it just about anywhere. They are really amazing girls. They've both had weight loss surgery. I believe they've both had VSG. And I think one of the main things that we're going to talk about is how someone did, weight loss naturally versus surgically. We've got a bunch of different topics that we want to address. So I'm really, really excited. Exactly, Erin. I'm really excited to just kind of have a nice conversation with them and kind of dip my toe into the podcast universe. If you guys have watched my lives before, I'm like a podcast junkie. I really am. My most favorite is the Pete Holmes podcast. It's called You Made It Weird. And I adore him. I adore all of his work. He's such an amazing comedian, but I don't know, he's a really philosophical guy and I just adore him. Good morning, Erin. I just love him. I really do. So if you haven't checked out You Made It Weird podcast, give it a listen. It's very enlightening. It's funny. It's, I don't know. It's just one of my most favorites. I just love him. I swear to God that Pete Holmes should thank me for everyone that I've sent his way. So Pete Holmes, hi. I could never be on his podcast. He's so much smarter than me. He's a very, very intelligent man, and I don't think that he gets enough credit for that because he's a comedian. So people don't realize often that, it takes a really intelligent person to have a good sense of humor. If you know what I mean. You picking up what I'm putting down. You've got to be smart to grab those one-liners, that's for sure. So, you guys, those of you that are in freezing parts of the country, I'm sorry for what I am about to say right now, but it's cold in Florida again. And by cold, I mean it's in the low 50s and it's raining. So I had actually put all of my hoodies and heavier clothing away, and I had to bust it all out again this morning because it's chilly here in Florida for us. It's going to be really cold tomorrow, I think, in the 30s. Oh my God, it's that cold in Houston, Sabrina. Funny story about Houston, okay? Check it out. About 7 or 8 years ago, probably 9 years ago, when I moved out to California, I did a road trip. So we drove across country. My ex at the time had a really good friend that lived in Houston, and I had never been there. So we stopped in Houston for a couple of days, and we went to a baseball game, and we went and, went to a bar and played pool and just kind of did Houston hangs. Now, I've lived in Florida most of my life, and I've lived in South Florida most of my life, and I don't need to tell you guys, it is really, really close to the equator, and humid doesn't even begin to cover it. We're humid almost year-round here in Florida. Now, that being said, I was not prepared for how humid and hot it was in Houston. I was pouring sweat. We went to this. It was like a cornhole tournament, and I swear to God, I have never sweat so much in my life, and all I was doing was standing there. Hey, Lloyd, how are you, doll? Yeah, I was just standing there in Houston in a big bucket of sweat. I was not prepared for how freaking muggy and gross it can be there. It was rough business. Wow, it's a snow day. So does that mean that everything gets canceled? You just hang out at home? It's probably hurricane days here for us where everything just kind of shuts down. Yeah, I had no idea that it was so hot and humid in Houston. I guess silly me was like figuring, okay, well, we're relatively close to the water, so maybe there will be a bit of a breeze, but there wasn't. It was just hot. It was so hot. God, 14. You guys are champions. If everybody wants to move to Florida, there's a lot of houses for sale on my street. I've got room for probably about 12 of you. Gosh. Yeah, Rhonda, I think Florida, I always was under the impression that Florida was hotter as well. We live a stone's throw from the river, so even on the hottest days, we mostly have a little bit of a breeze. But Houston, definitely one of the hottest places I've ever been. Yeah. It was a cool city, though. I liked it. Yeah, so what else is going on? I'm going to do the podcast tonight. It's going to be awesome. I'm putting that into the universe now that it's going to be fun and that it's not going to be weird talking to I know Kristen. Kristen and I have spent time together. We've become very, very close. We met through the magic of the internet, so I wouldn't have known her otherwise, but her and I have gotten really close this year. And then her friend Emily, I haven't met or spoken with yet, but she seems pretty cool and friendly, and I think it's going to be good times. They talk about internet dating a lot, and it always makes me laugh because before I met Dan, I was really big on the online dating thing, and I've got so many weird horror stories. Like, I just can't even begin to describe to you. So that's one of my favorite things about their podcast is when they talk about dating and internet dating. I believe Emily is single. Kristen has a boyfriend. His name is Dan. He is wonderful. Yeah, Lauren, I'm freezing right now. Are you in the Sherpa? I was in full hoodie, full jeans, sneakers, and I got poured on at Aldi. Aldi was so crowded that you would have thought that they were giving stuff away for free. It was like every grumpy senior citizen that ever was literally had to go to Aldi at the same time that I did. It was rough business. I'm pretty patient with the elderly. It's taken me a really long time to be that way. Growing up in South Florida, it's where everyone goes to retire. So I have been around senior citizens most of my life, and I do have a lot of patience for them, even the grumpy ones, because you never know. Like, are they not feeling well? Do they not have a great support system? Are they lonely? You don't know anyone's life. You don't know what the cards are holding for them. So I try really hard to be patient and understanding, but today was something else. There was a guy, you guys will love this, Lauren, you're gonna die. So Aldi had 2 stacks of bananas. I realize how first world problems this is, so just stay with me because it's funny. They had 2 stacks of boxes. One stack was the green bananas that aren't going to be ready for 6 days. The other one was so close to rotten that they should be relegated to banana bread. There was this man, he was probably 80 years old. He was wearing a fedora. I'm not joking. He was wearing a fedora and suspenders, and he was standing there talking to the bananas. So I pushed off to the side because obviously I wanted to know what the heck he was saying to the bananas, and I thought maybe he had maybe he was hip, right? He had a fedora. Does he have it in an earpiece? Is he talking on the phone? What is he doing? Lo and behold, he was scolding the boxes of bananas for not being the right ripeness for him. He was holding one bunch of green bananas and then holding one bunch of brown bananas, and he was holding them side by side. And he said, "Why can't you just meet in the middle?" I felt it to my core. I really did. I felt it to my core. My kids are really particular about the ripeness of banana. It has to be just so and just perfect, or they will not eat them. He was so jilted that these bananas would not just meet in the middle. It was the highlight of my morning. It was the best. I thought for sure, I was like, man, he's talking to somebody. He has to be, but he was not. He wasn't. Oh, even better. Best part, he bought both, you guys. So he bought a bunch of the brown and he bought a bunch of the green and just kept it moving. So I don't know like what his plan is there. Yeah, problems pooping, MCT oil. My collagen powder that I drink every day has MCT oil powder in it, and I feel like that helps me stay regular. Isn't that the funniest crap you've ever heard? I wanted to take a picture of him or, you know, film a little footage of him, but then I realized that that's frowned upon and probably rude. But if you guys can get the image, he looked like Mr. Fredrickson from Up, but in a fedora. Like, have you ever in your life? It was magical. He was so great. Like, for sure, his name was Stanley or Gus, you know, like typical old man name. He made my whole trip. As I continued to get annoyed walking through the aisles and it was like a mob scene, I just kept laughing to myself and just kind of said under my breath, "Why can't you meet in the middle?" It's gonna be like my new thing that I say. Why can't you just meet in the middle? I don't know, Gus. I don't know. It was hilarious. I miss bananas. I would say that that's the food that's at the top of my list that I miss the absolute most. Banana flavoring just doesn't cut it either. I've made a couple of recipes with like a banana extract just to get the flavoring, and it just doesn't do it for me. Hey Candace, how are ya? Yeah, I miss banana everything. Ooh, I miss pineapple too. Basically all fruit, because I used to eat fruit like a savage, ravenous animal. Like, I just love fruit so much. So for me personally, that's been the biggest challenge, I would say. Hi Bethany, hi Amy. That's been my biggest challenge, is reminding myself that, you know, even though fruit is healthy, it's still fructose, it's still sugar, and it's going to do the same thing to my body, basically, that a Snickers bar would. And before you tell me, like, yes, but it has a lot of nutrients and it has a lot of vitamins, it does, but nowhere near as many as vegetables. So sometimes I just have to, you know, eat a handful of strawberries and keep it moving. Exactly, Kat. Exactly. You know, the things that I miss, I don't miss them as much as I enjoy feeling good and feeling healthy. So, yeah, grapes were never my thing. I don't dislike grapes, but I have a lot of sensory issues when it comes to foods that have things like seeds. So you know how a lot of grapes have the little hard nugget right in the middle that's like kind of a seed, kind of not? That just totally turns me off. I'm not going to say that I don't count the carbs and veggies. I am aware, but I definitely don't portion out or measure my vegetables. Like, you guys will always hear me say, I know that I didn't get heavy by eating cauliflower and broccoli. I got heavy by eating Twinkies and Ding Dongs. So to sit there and measure out something like cauliflower that is incredibly low carb and is incredibly nutritious, like, no way. No way. Jennifer, Thomas DeLauer has a really great video where he talks about fructose being the same thing as sugar. And I always will go back and re-watch that video when I'm feeling like I need the reminder. Because sometimes my own brain does that. Like, bitch, just eat a banana. Like, no, because it's going to process in my body the exact same way that chocolate would. I love you too, Lorne. I miss you. Can you stop being famous so we can have chats? Lauren was at Playlist Live this weekend, and if you guys watched the footage, I'm like, my God, I'm really out of my element here with the whole YouTube and social media thing. I am still learning. I'm still kind of getting to, you know my rhythm here and what works for me as far as content. But I'm really, I'm so impressed with, I guess, the entire community the entire, just how big it is. Like, I would have walked into Playlist Live and I would not have known a single person there because I don't watch a lot of YouTubers. I watch, you know, my friends and close personal friends that have YouTube channels, but I don't just sit there and watch people's YouTube. It's not that there's not good quality content or what have you. I don't know. I'm just not that way. Tracy RN here. I'm glad you're here because I'm about to talk about something medical and it may be TMI, but I want to kind of put this out into the universe and talk about it with you guys because I had a doctor's appointment yesterday and I have something that I want to talk about. Yes. Okay. Who do I watch? I watch you, Erin. Erin does the keto. I watch my friend Kristen, Survive, Sleep, Slay. I watch Lauren Brazy, obviously. I watch some fathering autism videos. And then I also watch Thomas DeLauer. I'll watch, as far as keto goes, there's not a ton of keto personalities that I watch. I basically, you know, I just have my people that I like that I watch, and then everything else just kind of trickles in. But I have a tendency to listen to more podcasts than actually watching people's YouTube videos. I'm just busting your balls like you kind of are. I think you're a big deal. You're the biggest deal. I love you so much. I miss you, though. This is the worst. Lauren's an incredible person, and she is really good about shouting out other people's channels and kind of giving us ideas as to people that are putting out really great content. So I've definitely watched some of her recommendations. I don't watch cleaning videos because they make me feel like shit about myself. Real talk. I am not winning an award for being a housekeeper. Not at all. One day when I am a famous chef and I am on Ellen, the one thing that I will splurge is that I will pay someone to clean my house for me. You heard it here first. We are real friends. I'm just, you know, people that get on their soapbox about keto and telling you like how much you shouldn't do this and how much you shouldn't do that, I'm not here for it. Like it's not one of those things that I want to hear what I'm doing wrong. Yeah, okay. So when I watch cleaning videos and I see their beautiful $90 oil diffuser from Scentsy that's shaped like a koi fish, and their like beautiful area rug that looks like it's never been stepped on. There's like no toys in the living room. I cannot relate. My house looks like a preschool with dirt. It's not to say that my house is dirty, but I like clutter. I like tchotchkes. I'm cool with there being toys all over my house. I am like a big teenager. I really am. So I can't function when people have this pristine, hermetically sealed house and living room. I'm impressed, but I can't relate. I can't at all. Just to give you an idea of what I'm talking about. Oh, I love AD Keto. AD Keto is my jam. He's actually one of the only keto channels that I watch religiously. Just to show you guys like what the heck I'm talking about here. And I'm going to embarrass myself right now, but just love me for me. Okay? Okay. This is my view. Trash on top of the dog crate so they don't eat it. Toy section here. More toys and books here. Kid artwork everywhere. Like, this is who I am. I don't know. I don't live in a bubble. So I had someone on here several weeks ago that was like, oh my God, you should do a cleaning video. Huh? You want to see me spray everything down with Fabuloso and just hope that it smells great? Okay. I'm not dirty, but I'm definitely messy. And our decorating style basically looks like a Cracker Barrel store where there's just like tchotchkes and things everywhere, and that's just how I live my life. You know, I am who I am. Yeah, our house is definitely lived in. I try really hard to make our house a place of love and a place of joy, and my joy is not robbed by having a messy table. It's just not. It doesn't bother me. I would rather sit on the couch and color in a coloring book with my kids than worry about there being crap on the table. To each their own. I get nasty comments all the time that tells me that I should get off YouTube and clean my house, but you know, to each their own. Yeah, right? Like one day my kids are going to be gone and I'm going to wish that I took those extra minutes to spend with them, right? Yeah. I try really hard not to be too hard on myself. As long as it smells good and, you know, there's places to sit, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. I'm just telling myself. You guys know that that meme or the gif where it's the little dog sitting at the table drinking coffee and everything around him is on fire and it says this is fine. That should be a billboard in front of my house. Literally. Like that is my life. This is fine. I sweep and Swiffer my floors really regularly only because, like, we're barefoot people and I have dogs. So, you know, it has to be done. I'm more of like a smells person. The clutter doesn't bother me so much, but I need my house to smell good. I always say that my dogs are the Roomba, Melody. Yeah, so it's really it's funny to me like what bothers some people and doesn't bother others. It's definitely been a really interesting learning experience to kind of hear what some people's triggers are. Yeah, I have two dogs and one of them is massive. My littlest dog is a digger, so he'll go out in the backyard and if he's left unattended, he'll dig a 6-foot hole. And then he comes in covered in dirt. So I have to be, you know, look alive here, people. You can't eat off my floors, but you could walk barefoot and it wouldn't be a total disaster. Yeah, he is the diggingest dog, I swear to you. It makes me crazy. He's a senior, too. He's like 13, 14 years old, and he's still out there digging 9-foot holes to China. Bless him. Bathroom, I am neurotic about, but that's because I have two children that are potty training and going back to the smell thing. If it smells like pee, I want to die. So, can I talk about medical stuff with you guys for a second? Is that like TMI? Are we cool? Like, are we friends enough to talk about it? It's something that I didn't really want to talk about, but it's something that's been going on for a little while. So if there's any nurses in here, I just kind of want to pick your brain and just kind of tell you guys what is going on. But I'm warning you, like, it's a little gross, okay? You with me? We're here for it. So, for the last couple of months, I have had blood in my stool. I've had blood in my stool. I had hemorrhoids when I was pregnant or after labor with my kids. And it was the first time in my life that I'd ever had them. They went away on their own and it wasn't a big deal. Okay, great. So for the last couple of months, I was really under the impression that maybe I just had hemorrhoids. I know this is so gross and I'm kind of embarrassed, but I feel like whatever, let's talk about it. Tallahassee, you're not going to find water under the bowl, man. He's like trying to lift up his empty water bowl. I'll get you water. So long story short, the last few weeks I've been nervous, but not in pain, not having any symptoms that like I feel are alarming enough to be like, oh my God, like let's go to the hospital, right? I had my yearly OBGYN appointment yesterday. She's been my doctor for about 5 years. I absolutely adore her. She's delivered both of my sons. We have a really, really great relationship. So I was talking to her about it. And, you know, she asked all the questions that doctors ask. Like, is it dark? Is it bright? Is it this? It's live blood. So it is like red, like fresh bleeding blood, which she said means that there's something going on in the lower GI tract. She said it is most likely hemorrhoids, but it could not be. It could be, you know, something serious because, you know, it's been going on for a long time. It's not something that just went on for a few days and then left. Like, it's been kind of a present thing. So I'm kind of freaked out because, exactly, she wants me to have a colonoscopy and I've never had one before. I'm a little scared. Here's what is going to take place. She gave me suppositories, and she wants me to do the suppositories for the next week and change. She said anywhere from a week to 2 weeks, do the suppositories. And if it's still happening after the suppositories, to go ahead and schedule an appointment with the GI doctor or the colon doctor. So I'm kind of freaked out. Here's the thing. Here's why I'm freaked out. You would think, Amanda, you're freaked out because they're gonna look in your butthole. That's not even what freaks me out. I have a sensitivity to anesthesia. So when I am knocked out, I have a hard time waking up. It's funny because if you look up things about redheads and about gingers, redheads are known to have a hard time with anesthesia. We need more pain reliever. We need more Novocaine, all of that. So I know that it's part of that. But I'm nervous. I've never had anything majorly medically wrong with me outside of the pregnancy scope. So I'm nervous. Like, I'm definitely nervous. She didn't seem nervous, which was good. But the thing that bothered her was when we were talking about, like, it could be hemorrhoids, blah, blah, blah. She was like, well, do you have constipation and are you straining to go? And the answer is no, I don't strain at all. I'm very, very fortunate. And also, you know, I consume MCT oil and a fair amount of fat. So I don't have trouble going to the bathroom. Okay, PJMS, that's what she said. See what I did there? So she said it could be a fissure or a tear, which on its own in the beginning stages isn't a huge deal. But over time, if that's left untreated, I guess it could be an issue. She also said that it could be polyps. She gave me a whole list of things that it could be. But I'm a little I'm nervous. I'm just nervous. And obviously, like, I have 2 young children and an amazing husband and an amazing life. So whenever there's anything going on medically with you, I think it just makes you worry, kind of. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and schedule the appointment with the specialist. Because I'm sure that there's going to be a long wait, like there always is. But I'm definitely nervous. I'm also a little nervous that I'm going to end up with a damn doctor or a damn specialist that's going to try to tell me that, like, oh, you shouldn't be eating this way and that's what it's from, when I know full well that that is not at all possible. So, yeah, so that's what's going on. Jerry, I've already been ignoring it for a little while, unfortunately, because, like I said, I was really under the impression that it was just like a hemorrhoid or something. I'm nervous. Tracy, I don't need to go to the hospital, do I? Like, I can wait out the few weeks that it's going to be to get an appointment because I'm just not trying to go to the ER for a hemorrhoid. I feel like the biggest idiot. Like, people that go to the ER for, like, a hangnail. I can't. I'm scared. The word procedure freaks me out. A good amount, PJM. A good amount. Sorry, guys. Give me a second. Yeah, I just kind of feel like, you know, when we all have health things going on, this community is just so amazing to be able to talk to one another. Sabrina, here's the catch to that, right? I know it's not good to wait, but unfortunately, in this day and age, it's impossible to just call and get an appointment. That's not a thing. Like, I'm going to call and they're probably going to tell me like, okay, you have an appointment in 6 weeks. So that's why I'm trying to gauge, like, at what point do I get nervous? What is a good amount? Let's see. Oh, this is so extreme. Hey, Brianna, can you remove this guy, please? No, definitely not gushing. No other symptoms. I'm not having any stomach ache. I'm not having any bloating. It's literally, hey, dog life. It's literally when I go to the bathroom. That's it. But I feel like it's a good amount when I go to the bathroom. So I'm nervous. I'm trying not to over panic about it. Yeah, I would say a quarter cup is pretty accurate. Maybe a little less than that. Probably less than that. Yeah, if it gets worse, I'll definitely go to the ER. Or if I'm having pain, which right now I'm not having any pain whatsoever. I'm pretty sure that it's hemorrhoids. So yeah, I'm going to pick up my prescription today. I'm going to make sure that I am, you know, trying really hard to not just ignore it. I have a tendency with health stuff to put it on the back burner. So, yeah. The doctor wasn't alarmed. She basically was like, yeah, you're super young. It's most likely this. But she also said, you know, the bowels are very fickle and she called them emotional, which made me laugh. She's so freaking funny. She's like, the bowels are kind of emotional. So, you know, if you have like a really serious food allergy or this, that, and the other thing, like there's so many different things that could be kind of giving you an issue. It's really hard to just assume. So I'm going to take her advice. I'm going to make an appointment and I'm going to kind of take it from there. Basically, the gist is I'll do the suppositories for the couple of weeks, but I'm going to go ahead and make an appointment anyway because I am willing to bet they're going to be like, okay, sis, we'll see you in 8 weeks. You know, it's never just right on the money. No, if I Google it, it tells me I have colon cancer. So there's that. Google is the best and the worst invention. I guess, like, my whole thing with the ER, how can I put this? I'm not a germaphobe, but I also try very, very hard not to expose myself to unnecessary illness and unnecessary sickness. The main reason for that is because my older son, Lincoln, my 4.5-year-old, he is prone to febrile seizures. So when he gets sick, if he has a fever, we're level 10 crazy over here. So we are really, really careful not to expose them if we can help it. So to me, going to the ER for something that isn't necessarily an emergency, I'm just running the risk of bringing home something to my dudes. So, yeah, exactly, Tara. You get it. she kind of was like, you know, the doctor was like, well, do you think that you should go to the ER? And I don't at all. I don't want to go to the ER unless it's an emergency. I don't want to take the seat from someone that has, you know, an absolute emergency. But that being said, how crazy is it that you could have something as serious as like rectal bleeding going on and they're like, okay, we'll see you in 8 weeks. It's just crazy. Super crazy to me. But yeah, have no fear, you guys. I'm definitely going to get it checked out. I'm definitely going to do my due diligence of the doctor. And I'll keep you all in the loop. You know, I'm sure it's something dumb. Like hemorrhoids. But then again, can you get hemorrhoids if you are not straining to go to the bathroom? Can you just have them? Because I don't have an issue straining. Ooh, Debbie, it's been like this a while. Like, over a month, for sure. Yeah. Mm-hmm. No symptoms at all, Tracy. Nothing weird. No, my stomach doesn't hurt at all. I'm not having pain. No, I feel fine. I feel fine. I feel good, actually. I know this is such a weird thing to come onto YouTube and talk about, but I wanted the interaction. I was going to talk about it in my vlog today because I did like a grocery haul. But I realized that I really, really wanted the interaction. So, no kidding, Sabrina. Oh, lifting young children. So here's the thing about that, Kay. My boys are big, you know. They are 35 and up pounds. And I still have to lift and carry them on the regular. They still require a lot of like holding and carrying and, you know, so on and so forth. So I'm definitely lifting 70 pounds regularly. Oh yeah, Dr. Google is not my friend with this, you guys. It basically says that I have colon cancer. So I'm like freaked out, but also I'm optimistic. Like, I'm pretty sure it's nothing. I've never had a major health issue before. I'm telling you, outside of pregnancy stuff, I've never had anything majorly wrong with me. So, fingers crossed, it's just another weird little thing. Weird, Kathy. What did they do? Just stick a finger in your butt and tell you had hemorrhoids? Okay, Tracy, that makes me feel better. Yeah, the stress of worrying makes it worse. Yeah, I'm trying really hard not to turn myself into a lunatic. Wendy, no, but here's why. It was my regular yearly OBGYN appointment. And obviously, like, she isn't a doctor of the rectum. Like, she's not a colon doctor. So she wasn't alarmed enough to be like, oh my God, like, you know, we need to hurry up and get this situated. She basically was like, let's do the suppositories and, you know, see what's going on. Thank you, Paige. You know, do the suppositories, see if it makes it a little better. She's like, if you do the suppositories and then you have some relief being like you don't have blood in your stool for a few days, she said then it's most likely hemorrhoids. But that she also said that if there is any tearing or any fissures or anything along those lines, that can actually become a problem over time if it's left untreated. So she wasn't super nervous, but definitely wants me to take it seriously, if that makes sense. Yeah, funny, Tracy. She said that the prep is worse than the procedure. So naturally, I looked that up. Okay, here's another thing, you guys. My stomach, I've never shown you guys because I am mortified about what my stomach looks like. Most of my weight when I was at my heaviest is held in my midsection. So my stomach is a disaster. I have this big hanging bag of stomach, okay? You don't notice in photos because I wear a lot of like compression shirts and like compression tank tops underneath my clothing. But this is the third time in my life that I've lost 100 pounds. I've also had 2 children back to back. So my stomach is destroyed. It is destroyed. Now, that being said, that means that I have a heavy stomach that is constantly, weighing on my organs. That alone can cause trauma inside of my body. Now, I will definitely need a tummy tuck one day. I will need to have my stomach repaired. I would love to, Brianna, but there's a lot of ifs in that sentence for me. One is financial, because I am a very practical person. I can't imagine myself putting aside thousands and thousands of dollars for something, in a sense, that's vanity. But there's also the reality that the recovery time and the recovery process for something like that is going to mean that I need weeks on end to heal and to recover, and I won't be able to lift my children and all of that. And with what my daily life looks like, I can't imagine that I'm going to be able to do it in the near future. I'm not going to be able to not lift my children for 6 weeks. Like, that's not a thing. So I'm going to have to do a lot of research and some consultations to start getting a better understanding of what it is that I'm in for. But the reality is that my stomach is destroyed, and it is going to be a really long and lengthy surgical process for me to get to a place where all of that weight isn't doing damage to my body. So it's hard to be someone who you guys look up to and you're like, oh my God, Amanda, you're amazing. You've lost all this weight. Like, I still hate my body. And I am embarrassed to say that out loud and probably a little bit ashamed, because I probably should feel more proud. But the reality is that my stomach is so disfigured. I don't know if I will ever be truly happy and proud until I am able to have surgery. And that's just me being brutally, brutally transparent with you. My stomach is a mess. Diastasis recti and, all of that. So those of you that are struggling, or you feel like, man, I just want to be a success story, I hate to break it to you, but even when you get down to what you consider to be your goal weight, you're still going to have things that make you unhappy. Oh yeah, Deb, I have so many issues from it. So many issues. Like skin issues, back issues. Like, I'm willing to bet that I have at least 15 pounds hanging off of my stomach. My stomach's destroyed. So that's kind of where I'm at with the whole thing. I am at a point now with my weight loss where I will kind of start going on consultations and starting to get to know doctors in this field and see what it's gonna take. I also have questions about how, like, when I look at my stomach or when I touch my stomach, I know a lot of it is skin. there's definitely still fat in there. So I need a medical professional to be like, okay, girl, you need to be at this weight, this much of it is skin, this much of it is still fat. Like, I don't know what to do, because when I get down to my lowest weight, which is too low for me, like when I got down to my lowest weight this last time, I was at like 138, which I'm 5'8", so 5'7", 5'8", give or take. That's too thin, right? But even when I get down to that lowest weight and I'm gaunt everywhere, my arms look like sticks, my cheeks are sunken in, no boobs, like I'm skinny, literally skinny, I still have this bulbous hanging stomach. So I don't know what's gonna happen. Like, I'm scared to have that kind of surgery, but the reality is that, you know, I have done a lot of damage to my body over the years, and I have to kind of pay for that, both mentally and physically. So when you guys see me in these like side by side before and after kind of photos, like, I want you to remember I have a freaking bag of stomach in there. A bag of stomach. It's not all afters. It's really not. Like, the reality is when you lose 100 pounds, 100 pounds plus multiple times in your life, the skin just doesn't go back sometimes. I'm jealous of people that it does just go back. See, this is my point, Brianna. Like, that whole bent over a walker life, like, I can't do that. I can't do that. Like, I don't know what to do. Like, I don't know if I just need to be okay with it and just, Dan was calling in. So I don't know if I just have to learn to accept it. But the reality is there's like a discomfort there too. Like, it's uncomfortable. It is uncomfortable. You know, I have to go up a couple sizes in clothing a lot of the time. And, you know, like I said, I have to wear a lot of like compression shirts and compression tank tops. Otherwise, I'm really uncomfortable. So that's just the reality of it. Like, am I proud of myself? Yes, absolutely. But do I have a lot of things that I wish that I could change? Yeah, I do. Yeah, I've had a lot of blood work done. I don't have thyroid issues. I don't have PCOS. I don't have any kind of hormone imbalances. It's just my body type. My dad's entire side of the family, everyone holds weight in their midsection. Like, you can go back generation upon generation, and we are just apple-shaped folks. It's just genetics. I've been fasting for years, and on some level, it will probably help with loose skin. But when you're talking about 100 pounds lost multiple times, all from the same area of skin, stretch small, stretch small, stretch small. There's no hope without a tummy tuck. There's just not. Yeah, Kristen, I feel the same way. I feel the same way. Hi, baby. I'm sorry I just declined your call. I knew you would know where I was. What are you doing for lunch, Dan? Dan's here, guys. Everybody say hi to Dan. He's on his lunch break. Did you bring food, babe? Yeah, so that's what's up with my stomach. That's what's up with my doctor stuff. I will keep you guys posted on what's going on and what kind of happens, like, as this whole thing progresses. Actually, when I get off live here, I'm going to try to make an appointment and see what they say. So, yeah, that's where I'm at today. All the love from my husband. Yeah, I don't know. I'll definitely keep you updated. You know, I want to know what's going on, and I also want you guys to know that this is like a safe and comfortable space to talk about any health issues that you have going on. It's a really kind group of people that we have here, and I know that it helps to have support. I don't actually, Melanie. Our insurance is pretty good. And even if I do, my primary is so cool. Like, I could probably call her and have her throw a referral together. And if I have to make an appointment and go to my primary to make it happen, that's fine. I wouldn't mind getting her opinion too. Yeah, I have really skinny legs. Even when I am obese, my legs stay small. I look like an orange on 2 pretzel rods. It's just my body type. Everyone's like, oh, you're an apple. I'm like, no, I was definitely more of an orange. No, not really, Melody. We don't have a ton of help. In fact, we have like no help. Dan's mom is the only regular help that we have, but she also works a full-time job, you know? So it's really kind of a tricky thing. See, you say that, Deb. I would give anything for a flat stomach. You know? We have what we have, and we have to love ourselves through it and try really hard not to compare ourselves to other people. Genetically, I am prone to holding all of my weight in my midsection. It's just my body type. I know, give me Jacob. Yeah, one of my closest girlfriends, she is one of those women where the majority of her weight is stored in her booty and in her thighs, and she always hates it and wishes that her legs were thin. And then I'm like, yeah, but I look at her body and I'm envious. Like, I'm envious of her natural build the same way that she's envious of my legs. So, like, damn. You know, we all have things. We all have our problem areas. We all have our issues, you know? It's really, we talk about self-love in here a lot, and we talk about loving yourself and being kind to yourself and all of those things, but I don't ever want you guys to think that I don't have days where I'm like, you're a fat jerk. Because I do. Even when I am at my lowest weight and the number on the scale should make me happy, I still have a bag of stomach. I still have cellulite. Like, I still have things that bother me. And that is just part of the mental stress of losing weight and having, you know, things about your body that you don't love. Even when you get to your what you think is your goal weight, even if skin isn't an issue for you, I guarantee that something else will be. Something else will bother you. You will find something else to obsess about. We are just critical beings. Oh, Brianna, you don't get rid of it. I still have it. I mean, look at my neck. This is all loose skin. This is another thing that runs on my dad's side of the family. So no matter how thin I get, even when I was at 130, I definitely still have this. So I just have to learn how to love the things about myself that, you know, they are what they are, right? Because what if surgery was never an option? Let's say that didn't even exist. Like, let's just live in a world where plastic surgery isn't a thing. We would have to learn how to be, like, satisfied, right? Like, you'll have to learn how to be satisfied with what you have and love yourself through it, and that's just what it is. You know? Yeah. Mrs. Miss Lisa, that's exactly it, okay? So I've never talked about this with you guys before, but like, we're on a roll, so let's talk about it. When I was a young child, I would say probably 10 or 11 years old, I developed multiple eating disorders. Bulimia was where it started, but I have been just about every eating disorder that you can be over the course of my 36 years. So bulimia, anorexia, binge eater, I have been and done it all. I I don't really know where and why it happened. Did I have a childhood trauma? No, not. I was never molested. I wasn't abused. My dad was an alcoholic, and there's definitely like things in my childhood, but not trauma. I mean, I guess that's all relative, right? Like what's trauma to me may not be to you and vice versa. But over the course of my entire young life, I basically went up and down with eating disorders. And it's something that I suffered with my entire life. And even now to this day, I still have to be really, really careful. So the reason that I bring this up is that being my height, 5'7", 5'8"-ish, and weighing 130 pounds, plus my bag of stomach, as I like to call it. Because let's say, even on the low end, my bag of stomach easily weighs 10 pounds. That's the low end, easily. So at 130 pounds, if we don't talk about the bag of stomach, we're talking about 120 pounds on someone that's 5'20", or 5'7", 5'8". Way too thin. Way too thin. But here's the scoop. Even if I get down to 120 pounds, I'm still going to have a stomach that makes me miserable. So I am having a really hard time finding the balance to how much I should weigh with navigating the areas of my body that I can't lose no matter how much weight I lose. It's a really weird thing. It's a really, really weird thing. And I'm just getting to know what works for me and what my happiest weight is going to be. And by my happiest weight, I mean a weight that is relatively easy to maintain, but also a weight that keeps me looking healthy. Because I'm not meant to be any 120, 130. I'm just not. So yeah, it's all a process. And I will tell you, sometimes I have to like check myself, because if I am fasting too much or I am fasting for too long, those feelings of starving myself intentionally and withholding foods from myself intentionally starts to kind of give me a bit of like a PTSD flashback thing. So I have to be careful. My brain and my anxieties definitely have a tendency to, it gets away from me sometimes. It does. And, once you have an eating disorder, you will always have an eating disorder, in the same way that a drug addict is always a drug addict, even if they're sober. I have a hard time sometimes of just accepting where I'm at with my weight and accepting, and choosing the healthy path to weight loss. Because for many years, my alternative would have been to starve myself or to binge and purge. It's just, it can become extremely obsessive. Extremely obsessive. So I have to really, always walk the tightrope there of what is mentally healthy for me in the weight loss realm and what is mental sabotage. So, if any of you are on that slippery slope, I feel ya. I definitely feel you. It's hard. It's really, really hard. Yeah, the chart says that I should weigh 140 at 5'7", 8-ish. And at 140, not only is it very difficult for me to maintain, like I have to stay super low calorie and really can't have any variation to my diet whatsoever and all of that. Like, I just can't comfortably stay at 140. I think 150 is where I feel the best. But, 150, give or take. Yeah, it's a balancing act, both with your mind and your self-control and your self-esteem. It's not just as easy as, I've lost all this weight and now I'm this like perfectly mentally healthy person. That's not a thing. I just eat until I am full. I eat keto-friendly foods until I am full. I track nothing. I don't weigh anything. I've been doing this long enough. It'll be 2 years in July. I just know what I can and can't eat. So yeah, over time I've just learned what I can and cannot eat. This is a thing, right? Talking about my own mental health stuff. When I track, I start to get psychotic. I start to go to that mentally unwell, controlling place. I love you, sweetheart. I go to that like mentally unhealthy obsession of all the weighing and the tracking and the counting and the I can't eat this, and I like that is just not a mentally healthy place for me personally. So I don't do all that because I just know how I get, and then I'm harder on myself, right? Like, let's say that I go over by a couple of carbs or a couple hundred calories, then I'm like mentally beating myself up. You're a failure. You didn't stick to it. Look what you did. Like, I just can't do that. I can't do it. It's not good for me. And honestly, I would rather be up 10 pounds than where I'm comfortable than to be that obsessive, because I just know myself and it just takes me to a really dark place. So I don't go there. I just don't. A lot of people aren't that way though. Yeah, if I'm stalled, I definitely clean up my diet, but I still don't really track. It makes me an anxious lunatic. It makes me a crazy person. Pup. Yeah, so I just, I try really, really hard to keep myself as mentally healthy as I can, but I have ups and downs just like you guys do. I have highs and lows just like you guys do. I have a tendency to overeat when I'm feeling emotional. We all do that. Yeah, Snacks is eating his bed, Kristen. He's snacking on his bed, weirdo. Oh my God, when I'm on my cycle, I am a ravenous beast. I want to eat everything under the sun. It's awful. Yeah, when I track, I get very psychotic. I really do. So I just can't. It doesn't work for me. I get really obsessive and really controlling, and my self-talk gets very negative. It's just not a good headspace for me. But that being said, it works really well for a lot of people. A lot of people. In the beginning, it's important so you can understand what 20 net carbs-ish looks like. Because if you're new to keto and this is a whole brand new world and a whole brand new way of eating for you, you have no idea what that looks like. So in that sense, it's important to get to know what you can and cannot eat and how much of this is a portion, like learning portion control. So on that level, it is really important. But for day-to-day or long-term or maintenance, I just can't get into it. It makes me feel like a failure if I have a day where I overdo it or underdo it. Like, I just can't do that. All right, guys, I've been on here over an hour. I have some stuff to get done today, so I'm going to say ta-ta for now. And like I said, I'm going to be recording the podcast later on with Kristen on Mom Spaghetti Podcast, and I will be sure to let you guys know as soon as that is available to listen to. Thank you for being here with me. Thank you for talking about all of these wonderful health things and food things and keto things and family things. I am so, so thankful for you guys. You definitely keep me accountable, but you also make sure that I am feeling the love, and the love that you have for our family is just palpable. So I can't thank you guys enough. I love you all so much, and we'll talk soon. Have a great day.